us. And good morning, by the way, Tara Autrey.
Hi.
Hi, and thanks for coming in. We gave you, I think, a phone call a couple weeks ago, I think, or recently, and said, hey, we'd like you to join us here on Mom FM because you were nominated and now receiving a Citizen of the Week award here at Mom FM. What was that phone call conversation like?
Well, it was actually a little harried. I was in the middle of the airport, and it's like, what? Who's this?
Yeah.
And then, immediately I was shocked and humbled. And then I wanted to know who did this to me so that I could go have a firm talking with them.
Yeah, well, and those individuals that do nominate, they see what you do. They see the recipients that come into the studio, what kind of impact they make here in the community. So over the next few minutes, I hope by the end you won't be too upset at the person that nominated you. And no, I'm just kidding with you on that. But let's talk about your story. And if you're just joining us here on Mom FM, we're talking with Tara Autrey. Tara is an individual here in the community that, at least described by the nomination, that you don't let anybody down. The volunteers that you work with, the individuals that you help out, you're really that backbone and support. But then you also are a leader in many of these areas. When you're described that way, how do you feel about that?
Well, it's very kind, but I don't like to hear that that anyone sees me in that capacity, because I like to be behind the scenes. I like to see a lot of good going on in this community, and there is so very much, and it's just easy to kind of work yourself in and be part of it. So I don't know that I am truly a leader of any sort, but I just really have a passion for Ludington and the people that we live with. And I'm so happy to have that opportunity to live among these people. Well,
we're gonna dive into this, and the description, the nomination. I want to read word for word, actually, because I think you'll see that many people do recognize you as that leader. It says, Tara is the perfect example of a servant leader. She saw a huge need in our community and immediately organized a group to help meet that need. Her tireless efforts with Lakeshore Food for Kids assures that numerous students go home from school on the weekends knowing that they will be fed. In addition, she made it possible for each participating family to receive a large basket of food for the holiday break. During COVID, when schools were closed, bags were available for pickup and delivery. Tara also spearheaded the efforts to make the Oriole Giving Tree a self-sustaining program. She saw that school personnel were having to fundraise in order to support students and their families during the holiday season. Wanting to alleviate that burden, she has gathered together a group of volunteers who are organizing annual events to support the program. She also a driving force behind T.W.I.G, whose fundraising events support our local hospitals. If there's a school event going on, chances are good that Tara is someone involved. She does it all humbly and without fanfare. How do you feel about that?
Very kind.
pretty powerful, isn't it?
It is. But as you say, all of these things, all of the people who surround those different initiatives, if they were to come to your studio, you wouldn't have enough room. It's all of it is a group effort, and we can't do anything alone, can we?
No,
we have to be in relationship in life, and there are so many who go into all of those initiatives, those projects. So I'm very humbled, though, to be nominated, and of course to be spoken of in that way. That's very, very kind.
Well, you're a very humble person, but this morning is about you, and we want to recognize you. So I've got some questions for you.
Sure.
I won't. They're not very difficult. Okay.
Oh, but good. I told you I'm not a talker, Chris.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. This morning we're going to push you a little bit, though. But I guess the first question that I have is what triggers you to do this? What inspires you to do this? What motivates you to do this?
Well, as I said, really our community, but looking back at my childhood, I didn't come from any sort of, well-to-do family, or we were just, regular people. But my mom was a home ec teacher, and I just remember seeing her do a lot of wonderful work through her classroom. She provided a safe space for her students. They were there before, during, after school. She was always feeding them. They came to her for, if they had a problem or if they needed a prom dress repaired, anything to that degree. If somebody at our local, like we had a north side near my house type of thing, if we found out that they were spending a holiday alone, we'd drop something off. And so my mother was a wonderful role model growing up, but moving to Ludington, I just was amazed by what this community does. And if you can't look around and be inspired, then I think you're blind. I mean, we live among wonderful people. I have a conversation with others quite often where I ask, is what we do in Ludington, the way that people are so generous, is that true of all small towns, or is it a Ludington thing? Because prior to moving here, I always lived in larger areas, and it was really odd to run into somebody I knew because it was such a big area. So here, we're just surrounded by people we know and generous people. And so I don't know. What do you think, Chris? I'm going to throw that to you. Do you think that this is special to Ludington, or is this all small towns?
I think we recognize the uniqueness of our communities that we live in, and you're right. There's a uniqueness about the Ludington area. I grew up in a very small town, sort of the size of Scottville, to tell you the truth. But moving up from Grand Rapids and spending 20 years there to Ludington, you do get a chance to run into people that recognize you, that spark up a conversation, that take the time, and you see that in the volunteers that you recruit, is that people want to step up and say, hey, I know you're doing great. I want to do great. And you do that. So, and thank you for asking me the question, but now I get to ask you more questions. But if you're just joining us, we're talking with Tara Autrey, Citizen of the Week recipient here on Mom FM. And Tara, you started with the Lakeshore Food for Kids program. For somebody that doesn't understand how big of an impact that is on the community, let's go over that for a moment, if you don't mind.
Sure. Well, I'd like to recognize that Sarah Ewing and Carrie Brandt are co-founders of that program, and it's very fitting that we are at WMOM, because it was three moms who started Lakeshore Food for Kids, and it came from, again, a conversation, talking with one another, inspiring one another. We realized we were all sending food to school, extra food with our kids. Yeah. And we saw there was a need. Miss Peggy, our secretary at school, she was sending home a jar of peanut butter and a loaf of bread with a first grader every Friday. Really? And we thought, there needs to be something more. So conversation started, and 7 years ago, we began Lakeshore Food for Kids. We now send home anywhere between 100 and 150 bags every weekend. It used to be just an elementary program. And then we joined forces with a similar program that was started at the middle and high school level. And so then we became a K-12 Lakeshore Food for Kids program. Okay. And this school year, we are also serving preschoolers. And we continue to try to find ways to serve our students the best we can. We find that the older kids especially, they get to an age where they don't want others to notice that they're taking home extra food. And studies show that teens are more likely to hide their food insecurities. So we're constantly looking for ways to discreetly send home food with students. Okay. We have started putting some food on some shelves for some self-selection at the high school. Okay. And kids are starting to learn about that and utilize that. So we're doing the best we can. We're also trying to serve the kids in our community who may not have a regular home. We were told by the counselors last school year that we have a large population of homeless students. So we used to send home things like a box of pasta and pasta sauce. Well, if you don't have a stove to make those things on, then you can't use that food. So now we're sending home things that can go in a microwave, that could be made with use of maybe some hot water. A lot of very easy to prepare, easy to serve meals, because we also realize that not only maybe a kitchen be difficult, you may not have those tools you need, but you may not have somebody nearby. We have some kids who might be preparing food on their own. So we just want to make that process as easy as possible. And our program really focuses on the students who receive the food at home. We send it home so that over the weekend they have something to eat, and also over those longer breaks, spring break, winter break. A lot of us are, going on vacation or doing something fun, and that's not always a time that students who may not have enough food at home look forward to. We want to make sure that they have what they need, and the overall hope is that when they come to school Monday morning, we've removed a barrier to education, that they're more likely to succeed in school. They're more likely to thrive because they have been fed and they know they're cared for.
Listening to you describe this, obviously it's eye-opening to think about this, because we see homeless individuals in our community and communities across the listening area, but I don't think we realize how much some of these teens and kids in the schools are suffering, in that sense that, when we look at a teen, they're like, well, they're just out hanging out and playing and stuff like that. Sometimes we don't realize that they might not have a home to go to, or they're staying with another family. So very interesting to hear that. And we aren't sheltered in the sense because we're in a rural community. We talk about the inner city and stuff like that, but these things that we see on TV and the news and in movies and so on and so forth, it can happen, and it does happen right here, right?
Absolutely. In fact, I've had so many people come to me and say, I can't believe that we have poverty in this community. I mean, look around, look outside. We live in this beautiful tourist community. It's not all about tourism, but people work all year to come here and spend a week. How could we possibly have such great needs? But the fact is, in the United States, 1 in 6 kids lives in poverty, and the statistics in Mason County are even worse. 1 in 5 kids in Mason County lives in poverty. So we have a lot of great needs here. So even if you don't see them, they exist, and there are so many ways that we can help kids who have those needs.
At the end of the segment, I'll ask you how we can, as a community, help with these various programs. And if you're just joining us, we're talking with Tara Autrey. Tara is the recipient of the Citizen of the Week award here on MOM FM. She was nominated at WMOM.FM and recognized this morning. Tara, not only the Lakeshore Food for Kids, a big part of your life, but also the Oriole Giving Tree, which we've talked about here on MOM FM. That's a big part of your efforts throughout the year. Take us through that and why you're involved in it and how it helps the community, if you don't mind.
Sure. Well, the Oriole Giving Tree has been around for many years. And I remember, in fact, when my kids were in elementary school, the teachers and counselors every year on Christmas time would put up a Christmas tree in the lobby with ornaments that had specific needs on them, like laundry detergent or a blanket or whatever. And as we've gone through the years, a couple things have happened. The staff has realized that families at Christmas time may not all need a certain type of detergent or a blanket. There are other needs, and even from a dignified access piece, we want to make sure that families can choose the things that they truly need. So it's developed into, instead of taking those ornaments, the Oriole Giving Tree takes donations, and then teachers and counselors and administration, they take families shopping at Christmas time. And not only can they maybe buy things that they really and truly need, supplies, but maybe they want to buy a gift for a family member. There are all sorts of things, toys for tots, but not necessarily, for adults. So anyway, at the end of the day, the counselors and teachers were trying to raise this money on their own at a very difficult time at Christmas, and we saw that they were struggling to keep up with those needs because they have very big plates, right, already.
Absolutely.
So some of us from the community, Becky Erickson, Heidi Urka, and a great board, Jackie Steckel, lots of folks, and I don't want to miss anyone, but all got together and are working on fundraising efforts that are throughout the year so that come Christmas time, the school district can serve families well, and they're not the ones who are having to do the hustling to make sure that they can do that. Yeah. So to that end, we're really excited because rumor has it that Santa Claus vacations in Ludington. Yeah. And this summer, we might see him pop up here and there, and we'll have some special things for sale, both to our community members, but also people who are visiting. We'll have a special cookbook and a special 150th year ornament that we're putting together, all sorts of things. And we're really excited about it. So please keep your eyes open this summer for Santa and look for ways that you can help the Oriole Giving Tree through those efforts. It's going to be a lot of fun. Absolutely.
We're talking with Tara Autrey. Tara, we talked about Lakeshore Food for Kids, that you're part of the Oriole Giving Tree. But then we also extend your responsibilities as a mom of two, and you are very active with T.W.I.G, too. And if people aren't familiar with that acronym, what does it stand for?
It stands for Together We Inspire Generosity.
And specifically, you're helping our team right there at Corwell Health and our local hospital, right?
Correct. So we do some fundraising so that some of the special projects that aren't part of the regular fund can be helped out. We've done things in the past like helped Reach Out and Read, which is another major passion of mine, buying books for that program at our local pediatrician's office. We've purchased special car seats for preemies that can't go home because they have to have the right size car seat. We fund things like providing meal tickets for families who don't expect to wind up in the hospital, and maybe they don't have the funds to buy a meal with a loved one while they're trying to visit and that sort of thing. So it's kind of like a program that fills in all of those extra gaps that are existing at the hospital, but are not necessarily filled by regular funding.
Yeah. And so I see this track record based on our conversation today, that you are involved and you identify those areas that might not be on our radar every single day, but there's consistency that I'm seeing throughout the year. Not when, we talk about the September being this month or July being this month or when we get to the holidays, but you've identified programs and involved in them that need and require that consistency and volunteers, fundraising, attention to the recipients. That's important to you, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. We can't wait for an emergency situation. There are needs that are always there, and I'm just grateful that we have so many wonderful people in this community who are willing to fill those gaps throughout the year. Again, you could be doing the Citizen of the Week 24/7, Chris. There's an endless list of people here who are just so very giving and working hard in this community.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we're going to try to at least recognize 50 plus of them
wow.
Throughout the year.
That's awesome.
And with that said, how do you, in your own words, motivate others? How can we get others to be involved just as much as you are?
Oh, gosh. Well, I think that when people have this idea of philanthropy, it's that you have to have some money to give to others, and that's not the case. Philanthropy is using the resources you have, whatever talents you have, or your time, or things like that. And so I would challenge every person to think about their own gifts. And sometimes that gift can be smiling at somebody when you're in the grocery store and making eye contact and just letting another person know that they're important, that they're cared for. And I truly believe that one thing leads to another, and we all have a way to show love to one another, to show God's love to one another.
Absolutely. Very powerful.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything's going to stop you. You're going to continue these efforts, right?
I hope to. I have a wonderful support system. I have two crazy kids who need me. I was telling you earlier that, the laundry is never done. I'm supposed to be a stay-at-home mom, but yeah, whatever. And I have this amazing husband who I think also could be in this room. He cares for people in a very intimate and dear way within the walls of the hospital, and then that extends to 24/7. He's always getting calls from other physicians, from patients, and he works tirelessly in that way, caring for others, and that allows me the opportunity to do what I do. And so I'm very grateful to him, and I share this with him. He's very deserving. There are so many who are so deserving.
Absolutely. Your words are very powerful today, and I'm hoping that it motivates those that are watching, those that are listening today, to do what you're doing. And did we miss anything about you that you wanted to express to those that are viewing and listening?
Nothing about me exactly, but I would like to do a quick plug for something that is coming up with Lakeshore Food for Kids.
Yes.
Because we are completely community funded. We rely on the generosity of our friends, our neighbors, and hopefully some of the people this summer who are visiting. We're going to be doing a really big fundraiser in August, on August 17th, called Purses with Purpose. Okay. It'll be a wonderful kind of ladies' night event. We'll do some live auctions of new purses. We'll offer some gently loved purses, and just really come together with the power of our own purses to make this impact on our community. Our goal is to raise enough money to feed students for all of next school year, and I really feel like we can do that. So I would encourage everyone to take a look at our Facebook page, follow that, and we'll have lots of information coming up. But I want to invite everyone to just get on board, and there's so many ways to help at any time, but this is kind of our focus right now.
All right, we'll continue, and we'll stand behind you on that and support you all the way till August for that program. Last question in regards to that, and T.W.I.G, and as well the Oriole Giving Tree. The best way to connect or to support, if you had to put that message out there for any of these programs, what would you say?
Oh gosh, there is so much in each of those areas. I would just encourage, we all use, for better or worse, we use social media a lot. I would encourage everyone to look up those social media pages, or go to, for the Oriole Giving Tree, go to the LASD website, our school district website, and Oriole Giving Tree has its own page. Follow that for updates. Okay. And then Lakeshore Food for Kids, it's with the number 4. We're found on Facebook. And then T.W.I.G also has its own Facebook page, and this group is planning a fall fundraiser, a T.W.I.G Bazaar, so you can find out more about that.
All right, sounds good.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Don't let me cut you off. What were you going to say?
No, I just want to encourage everyone to continue to go out and, if you haven't already started, go out and love your community. It's a beautiful, of course, it's easy to say that when we are surrounded by sunshine today, but we live in this beautiful, amazing community, and embrace it. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this from some of the comments that have come in on our Facebook page in regards to our conversation today. Patty said that, Tara, you're so great at helping others and spreading the word about how all can get involved. Well done. Melissa, I think we got some honks for you too. Melissa says, Tara, you're amazing. I know you don't like being in the spotlight, but you so deserve the recognition. And Joni says, keep up the good work too. Just a few of those. And we do want to recognize you. So we have a few things for you, if that is okay. This first is something that you can just put on a mantle or somewhere in your home that shows that you're recognized as a Citizen of the Week. It's a crystal award for you. And hopefully it just shows you as a reminder that you are making an impact in this community, on the community. And we also have for Timber's Prime a $100 gift card. You can take your husband out and say, hey, you know what? All the work that the two of you put in, that there's a $100 gift card for that. And you do some traveling, so Wesco has a $50 gift card for you as well. And that's an opportunity to put some extra gas in the tank because it sounds like you're doing a lot of driving around with these programs.
Got a lot of food to haul around, so I will use that.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, thank you for all that you do, and we'll continue to share what the rewards that you and the efforts that you put in. The rewards are the community receiving food that they need, support that they need. Not only the food, but also it sounds like there's the mental side of it, being able to give that reassurance that people are there for them, and that's a big part of it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Well,
yes.
we encourage you to continue to do what you do, and thank you for being a Citizen of the Week recipient. As part of the Citizen of the Week program, you're going to be invited at the end of the year with all the other recipients to a dinner put on by Mom FM. At that event, 2 recipients will be nominated, will be voted on by the Citizen of the Week recipients. Those 2 individuals will receive $1,027 in cash to go to your efforts that you're doing. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you for all you do. I appreciate it. Thanks for highlighting all of the important efforts in this community. Thank you for being a voice.
Well, we appreciate you saying that, but thank you for all that you do. If you've missed any of this segment with Tara this morning, you can watch it on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And Tara, like I said, just keep inspiring others because that's what you do each and every day.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It is 8:04 now here on 102.7 Mom FM. News and weather coming your way next.
Thanks for making us